Good morning, good morning. So, this is my beautiful friend. I'm just going to introduce you directly to my very precious and wonderful friend, Raphael, who is now residing in Byron for around a decade. And he actually contributes to Byron being the character that it is today because of music and other contributions to the Echoes newspaper and to the community altogether. And we've been really good friends for a while. And you will probably hear some sarcastic things once in a while, every now and then. But we are in an open conversations, and so if you're listening, be aware that we may use some curse language in moderation, and we'll be sarcastic to each other at some point.
No, I'm never sarcastic.
Oh yeah, for sure. I just actually follow along whenever he starts it, and I'll just play it along because I happen to be so misunderstood by so many, and Raphael is one of the few people who does. You do get my sarcastic side of self. So may I please, other than that really short introduction, I'm just going to give Raphael the luxury to introduce himself to you, the amazing listeners.
What are the guidelines?
This is welcome to the podcast of
thank you.
Von Reinhardt's artist podcast.
Okay, great.
I don't.
So there you go. Now we've answered that question. What's next?
I'm going to rush you with a lot of questions, so be prepared when you say I don't care.
Yeah,
you
okay.
agreed to come, so you're still going to have to make a lot of answers.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to work hard. Ask questions.
Yeah, would you like me to ask questions?
Oh, well, I've got a whole pile of stuff here from my lifetime of artistic output. A smidgen of it, but anyway, it's better to show, not tell. So I brought things to show, and then we can talk about it.
Perfect. So to start with, Raphael is an author and a musician, and he does photography as well. Yes.
Yes.
And
right. And
actually, this is the gent who taught me the bass, the basic chords of the root notes to the bass guitar. Now, Raphael.
She forgot everything I showed her. Everything. We did scales. We did riffs. We did.
Yeah, because I don't practice. I just
changes.
I just have to save myself. What led you to be an artist and a writer?
My father, I think, genetically, because my father was a clarinetist.
Come closer to the mic.
Oh.
No.
I was talking to that thing. I thought that's where the mic was, but anyway, it does have a mic in it.
Just tell us about your dad. It's more interesting.
Yes, he was a clarinetist, violinist, piano player. And I don't know much about him because he died when I was 3 years old, so therefore I think it's genetic. And my older brother got piano lessons, and I said to my mother as an adult, why didn't I get piano lessons? She said, because your brother didn't like them. So there's a good reason to not educate your children. So I was the musician in the family, got zero musical education, so I had to do it all myself. And then creativity, I wrote a poem at school, and I was surprised it was in the pub school magazine, but I didn't think about it. I didn't think, oh wow, I've written something, I should write more. I just didn't think about it. And then I started playing the drums at school. I really liked the drumming and from records. So that started that music thing.
So how old were you then?
10.
10? Wow. That's so good. Did you...
I was lucky because I had an older brother who was 7 years older than me, and he was into jazz, rock and roll and Latin. So I had a good foundation in those three types of music.
In a way there was a lot of music.
Yeah, he was playing music, yeah.
That's so nice. Now, in your memoirs of narrative works, right? How do you handle the dissonance between the official history of your career and the messy, visceral reality of those moments actually felt?
Who wrote that?
I wrote that. You wrote that. Explain it.
I don't understand it.
You do.
So what's the difference between what's in here and my life? Nothing,
In the
because I wrote it, so it's all what happened. So in here it
So
starts.
that's a biography, basically.
It's autobiography. So it starts
Autobiography.
here when I was. My first guitar, I made it when I was 13, I think.
So you made the guitar.
I made the guitar.
That's
And what's good about this guitar is impossible to play it because I didn't know that the frets had to be in a particular position.
wow. Look at that.
I just put frets in it anywhere. And I think it was elastic bands for
How
guitar
old were you when
strings.
you made that?
13. So that was my ridiculous step into music.
That's great creative.
And then what sucked me up into it was that,
What's that?
I'll show you, which is, it's so easy to be popular while you play today's most popular instrument, the guitar. And so my idea was, wow, play guitar. But I never took up the guitar. In fact, I took up drums.
Oh, wow, seriously.
So there's a drum kit for you.
And
I don't know what year it was. And
I
then
mean, for those who will watch the video, they will be able to see this. If you're just listening to the podcast, you will see this video on the podcast as well.
you put it in.
Yeah, it will.
You put the book in. So then I went into a band called the Rocking Chairs.
You
And
have the
I put into a band called the Rocking
the
Chairs.
rocking chairs.
I'll show you.
But there was there's a lot of bands in Australia about the chairs, because there's the silver chair.
Yes.
And I remember someone told me that they should be called a high chair because they were like
Little
young
kids.
ones.
I was in a band called the Armchairs as well in the late 70s. So I don't know what that's all about. But
It's amazing, the chairs have some
yeah.
fabulous.
So so that's that's where I was at the beginning. So I was playing in bands, and then I got into a band that was making a lot of money, but was doing covers, and we actually thought we were going to be the Beatles. We thought we'd be discovered and become rich and famous, and we had no idea about how the music industry actually worked.
Are you confessing that back then, with being young, the aim was to be famous as well? Like it was.
Well, we assumed that would happen because we were playing all those songs, so of course we would get there. And when the opportunity came to make a record, we didn't even take it up. We didn't know. If we'd put a record out, we'd have done really well.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, can we harass you with the next
Yeah, have a go.
curiosity?
There's a lot of info in here.
Oh yes, you can tell more about that.
Well, when it's the right time.
Well,
I'll have a coffee while you think about the question.
I was just thinking that a few days ago about, now that you're at this stage in your life, and so you're likely to become the person you once looked up to. So when you look at the current generation of creators, what is the one lost art or the perspective from your era that you feel it's most crucial for them to rediscover?
They can't, because the most crucial thing was putting records out and selling records, and bands would be making money, and the records that would then become popular, and they'd provide more tours, more income, whereas now they're doing it via the internet.
Even AI. So,
Well, I don't even want to mention, that's a swear word.
yeah.
So, that's the thing that they've missed out on. And today, live musicians have to make money by performing live and getting paid. So that's a big change.
Have you ever performed where people don't want to pay you?
What does that mean?
As in, because in Byron, we've had some friends and even myself experienced the stage where we were asked to play in some venues, and they said, "Oh, but we can't pay you, but we can give you free meals." And I'm thinking, like it's very common in Byron to a lot of local musicians back then when I was playing music that they get told that, and I was thinking that this is interesting because you're driving around with thousands of dollars equipment on a $500 partly broken car that's squeaky and wheezy everywhere you go, and people do not see that you need to feed yourself, pay your rent.
Well, that's a Byron Bay thing. I mean, it's different. I was a professional musician for 22 years. And so if someone said to me, "Oh, we're having a party next Saturday night, we might be able to pay you," then I'd go along with the idea of I'm not going to get paid, or I'd go along with the idea of I insist on being paid.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a 50-50 thing on that.
So it's always a 70. That's
Yeah.
really good. And how many people were in the band when you started the first band that you started? How many people was it that you?
It was a 4-piece, the first one.
Yeah.
And then I think the biggest band I've been in was a 9-piece, that was with Paul Kelly at the very beginning of his career.
Come closer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with the first experience of forming a band, what was the difference that you could see when you then have the second band, from the difference to the first one? Because the first one would be like a learning stage as well.
Okay, so we were doing surfing music, and we only had a couple of venues. We didn't play very many places. So I don't even know how long that band lasted. No idea. Maybe 6 months. I don't know. Can't remember.
Where was it? Sydney?
There's Melbourne.
Oh, Melbourne.
And the next band was the Rocking Chairs, and that was we did a few gigs, but I think I left that band because the singer was alcoholic, even though he was young. But he was anyway. I didn't like it.
So how old were you when you started the first band?
The first band I would have been 18.
Wow. And the second?
Well, same year probably. Yeah.
Yeah, and you've been like devoted to music ever since, yeah?
No.
No. You're just pretending.
I didn't play for about 15 years, I think.
What stopped
I got
you from?
Having family. Got married, had a family, and the instruments went under the bed. But an interesting thing was that I switched to bass. So I was playing bass in the 9-piece band, and I put the instruments under the bed. And 2005, there was a local council said we want to support middle-aged people rather than youth or older people. They were never doing anything for the middle. So they ran a course in a studio. They let us have a studio, and about 10 of us went in and we started writing songs and recording. I'll show you that now because I've got it here somewhere. And what happened there? So this is the record. You want to show it to the camera?
What is it called? The High Tide Sessions, December 2004.
Okay, 2000. So that's that.
The one?
So I picked up the bass under the bed. It had been under the bed for over 10 years, and it was in tune.
Wow.
That was a 1968 Fender Precision.
That's
It's a good bass. Yeah, it was a fantastic bass. Yeah. Sat there for 10 years, didn't go out of tune.
And you taught yourself to play the bass as well? All
No, I had lessons.
Oh, okay. So was it later on after the drum?
Yeah, I stopped. No, I was playing the drums, and then I bought a bass for we got robbed, the band got robbed. So I lost a drum kit, the bass player lost his bass, the guitarist lost his amp. And so I found this bass, and I said to the bass player, "Hey, I've got this beautiful Precision, would you like it? It's $400. And he said, "Oh no, I'd rather have a mate." And So I thought, well, it's $400, so I'll buy that. And so it was a beautiful guitar. And so I had lessons off Bill Putt, who's the bass player out of Spectrum, Melbourne band, and started. And I had a couple of other bass players gave me lessons, but anyway, I just kept playing, and then I sold that bass only about 2 years ago for $10,000. So that's pretty good, isn't it?
I'm surprised it wasn't a gift for me.
Yeah, well, no, I thought, should I give it to Francesca or get $10,000? It was a difficult decision to make. It was that close. It was just close.
I wish I had that. It would be a great...
If I'd known you wanted, I'd just given it to you. $10,000 is nothing compared to friendship, isn't it? Yeah.
Friendship cost, huh? $10,000.
Yeah.
Well, because you write as well, you...
It's a good question.
Surprised me a
So
lot.
in that time,
Yes.
that I wasn't playing, so...
Oh yes, that's exciting.
Now that's... Why is this upside down?
Because you just...
Because I'm... so we've got to go back in order. So now we're going to go back. So before all that...
this is why you're having a break from music, yeah?
No, I went to Adelaide and
Okay.
put out a record. This is done by the singer in the band, Rob Tillett. And Rob was a really lefty muso, and he actually wrote a song called Viet Rock. And I spoke to him a couple of... He's lovely. Anyway, so we also put out this stupid record called Rocky and the Rocking Red Angels.
Why is it considered stupid?
Because he changed the name. The band was called... it'll come to me soon. And he didn't identify himself or anything. It was like an anonymous record. I wrote the second track on it called I'm Swinging. And it didn't sold 10 copies because no one knew who he was, because he thought it'd be really fun to be arty and not put down his name, who was a popular singer and writer in Adelaide.
No way.
Yeah. So I can't remember the band anyway. Yeah, so that's that story there. And then
It will come later.
Then what are we up to? Here, there.
You said it's in order, so that...
Yeah, sort of. So then I was in Melbourne, and I was in this 9-piece band with Paul Kelly, which, a long story, it fell apart, and I put out this record.
This record is Fred Cass and his fabulous cassettes, missing in the 80s.
So it was a sort of a send-up of Skyhooks, which was living in the 70s. And it was just... and it got played on Double J at the time. They were playing it a lot.
Explain Double J, because I only know Triple J.
Oh, well, it was before Triple J. It's Double J. So I don't think it wasn't FM, it was AM.
Right.
And so because it was AM, we couldn't hear it in Melbourne. It was in Sydney, and it became like a minor hit record in Sydney. And I went up to Sydney to promote it and take more copies and sell them. Mm. So that was good, that did well. And then I bought out another one after that the next Christmas, which was Christmas in America.
Oh, wow.
And
Australian branch. Christmas in America, that one.
And it's the most stupid EP I could have done, because it should have been 2 records. It says Christmas in America, Australian branch.
Yes.
And it had Merry Merry Christmas and Silent Night and Jingle Bells. And then it had Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Okay,
yes.
Good. But then it had Family Fun Parlour, which was about groupies. And then it had...
Sorry, what's groupies?
Groupies.
This is the groupies that when...
Women that follow bands.
Okay,
it was called
yes.
She's Not a Groupie, it was called. She's Not a Groupie. And then the next one was called Marriage is a Splendid Thing, when I didn't think it was very splendid. But it's got nothing to do with Christmas. What are they doing on this record, which is called Christmas?
Something splendid.
Marriage is a splendid thing.
Oh, marriage. Oh, God.
Slightly sarcastic, you understand?
Of course.
So, anyway, that's what's bizarre about it, that it's called Christmas, and it's got... Anyway, who knows? Maybe it was the old days of thinking things about
What's the next one?
No, we've done that one. We've done that one.
Really
We've done that one. We haven't done this one. No, we haven't done this one.
That's the first one we did.
We did this one.
Yeah, that's the one that you mentioned. That's how you end up flipping the order of things. See, the high.
Oh yeah, we talked about it. So that's when I got the bass out from under the bed for that.
Right.
That's the session that we did in the studio. So
what a journey!
Nobody's famous in that except me. And even that photo, this is brilliant because I photoshopped the photo. Well, it was before Photoshop. I think I cut out the picture of me because I took the photo.
Yes.
Right, and so I cut out a photo and stuck it in behind there.
That looks really good.
Looks good, doesn't it?
But you can tell a little bit on the shoulders, the lighting that fell on the shoulders of the one.
Yeah, it's all wrong.
Guitarist.
And also the light on the glasses is all wrong. So
Yeah.
it's a different day. Somewhere else, probably taken out the beach.
Two different timelines.
Anyway, that's good. A bit arty stuff.
That's so cool.
So
Yeah.
we're jumping around in order. We don't sort of care, do we?
Yeah, no, it's okay. We don't care. But what I was gonna ask you before, because you write and as a musician, do you find yourself scoring your sentences, or does the internal rhythm of your writing mirrors the signature? Don't laugh at my English. The signatures you favor in your music.
Do you know that makes no sense whatsoever?
You do. It does make sense.
It makes no sense.
You need.
As a musician, do you find yourself scoring your sentences?
Yeah.
Well, are you scoring your music? Scoring means to write out the music with dots. No, I don't do that. I wouldn't have a clue how to do. I can write out. No, I don't do that.
No.
Then what's the next bit?
Does the internal rhythm of your writing mirror the time signature you favor in your music?
Yeah, because I write in 4/4. So every single song I've written more than 70 songs. They're all in 4/4. So yes, it does definitely mirror what's in my head. 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go.
Yeah, you taught me this stuff.
All right.
Really, really fantastic. Thank you. Because I'm
You're
only
welcome.
playing instruments by, hearing. Yeah, by ear and very clueless.
No, you're not clueless. You have a
Well-
great feel. You really know what you're doing.
Well, that's to do with probably my paternal grandmother was a singer. My mother sings still, all throughout my childhood she sings, and my big brother sings and plays the guitar and write some island songs, and that's about it. I mean, you're on the island, you wake up to singing, you go, you go to bed singing. That was at least my childhood, and that's the only clue that I have. And then you have rhythm, you have the djembes. We have djembes as well. Djembes rhythm that they only come out for ritual reasons, to ritual purposes, to be played at. And so certain rhythms I remember hearing from the distance, and at one point, I was seeing them, witnessing them, but they are really static because they play only a certain rhythm to fit in with the chants and that sort of stuff.
It's very, very similar to my life in Perth when I was young. My grandmother, I remember she used to come down the street and she'd be playing a drum and dancing. She was about 80, but she was dancing and singing. And then the whole street, all the neighbours would come out of their houses and they'd form circles around. They'd all be singing and clapping and chanting. And they'd all have drums, and then they'd bring out, a truck would come past with amplifiers on it, and they'd all plug in and play music. It happens everywhere in Australia,
That's
don't you?
amazing.
Haven't you seen that? Oh, it's everywhere in Australia.
But that's
No.
of course in Byron, like my
Not even in Byron.
my part.
It doesn't happen anywhere in
my-
Australia.
Of course, it doesn't happen anywhere. But
Never.
my part of feeling really at home in Australia is really Byron. It's just where my friends and everything else is happening here. So, hang on. I wanted to ask you because you mentioned your grandmother, the sense of community. Like, that's something that's very strong then. If your grandmother is it
In Perth
true?
it was. Perth was small. It was like, if you go down the West Ballina, it's very similar to what Perth was like when I was a child. the wide streets with nice big old houses, lots of trees. It's pretty quiet.
Yeah.
That's sort of was like in Perth. And
this is the city, you mean?
yeah, the city of Perth. It's not like that now.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but
so how long were you in Perth for?
till I was 7.
Quite a memory you have.
Yeah, significant things happen. Yeah, because it's easy to know what happened before 7 and after 7.
And in that regard, where in Australia do you have the most, as you grow up into adulthood, which place that have the most impact on your life? If you can think.
Well, I was in Melbourne. I mean, I played music for such a long time there, and then I moved up to Sydney, where it was a completely different musical attitude. Melbourne was about creativity and a lot of humour in music.
Interesting.
And Sydney is about covers, really, apart from the jazz thing. So I played jazz as well as rock.
So what did you say what Sydney was about?
Well, about covers. It was about
covers,
money. It was about money. Melbourne was about more art. And then you got money if your art worked well. I mean, there's some weird bands came out of Melbourne. And like I said before, Spectrum and Skyhooks was a weird band, really. They weren't a straight rock and roll band. Split Ends wasn't a straight rock and roll band. Pretty different. Whereas like Cold Chisel's a straight rock and roll band, and everybody knows them. But they went on that straight ahead path. Just they didn't dress up. They didn't do anything spectacular or arty wise. Music they did, but not any other way.
So when you were learning, you're teaching yourself music, and take a few classes on a bass and stuff like that. The music theory, did you learn along through the classes, or like you just
bits and pieces? Oh, I actually played in a JAS, Jazz Action Society, when I was in Sydney. I would have been in that for about a year, and we met maybe weekly in the Musicians Union building in Sydney, and we had about 10 or 20 people playing. It was different numbers, but it was playing jazz.
Yes.
So I was playing bass there. So sometimes there'd be 2 bass players or 5 guitar players or 3 drummers or whatever. But so I learnt theory there, well, just by what I was talking about. So bits rubbed off over time.
Since you moved around different places as well, I mean, living a life as a musician, I mean, has an exposure as well to your life, and then of course your interaction with the public, with people, broadens, and then as you grow older as well, you've traveled a lot. I mean, you go places and you play music. Like as in a few years ago, you went to Bali, and then the next thing I know, I'm seeing videos of you in Bali with this guitar that you made from home. You took it in a suitcase, in a carry bag, and you're playing with a lot of musicians. You just walk anywhere because you've got this gift to be able to have great social interaction skill with people. And so what I'm...
that was a bit different. That still worked on a personal level, because when I got to Bali, I was at a jazz club one night there, and I met a guy, just, hi, g'day, hi, sit down, have a talk. And he was from Melbourne. He was a bass player from Melbourne in my era.
Yeah.
And so we connected, and then he said to me, look, I'm playing tomorrow night in a cafe which invites people to play in the second set.
Right.
So I took a guitar there and plugged in, and I played a couple of songs, and I had the band played behind me, and they love it because I'm probably a tall white guy, Westerner.
I don't think so.
Yeah, white guy.
Because you play music.
Yeah, but I still think that there's an international thing. They really like it because it
gives
them an international flavour, right?
Yes.
So they just got someone else come in to do it.
It's different to what their band's always playing, I guess, as well.
Yeah, and also I didn't do any covers. I did a couple of songs I would have written myself, easy ones, and they played along. They were all good fantastic musicians, unbelievably fantastic musicians.
But
and then the guy who I'd met, who was a bass player, said to me, look, I've got a recording studio contact. So I went and recorded a song there about Jeff Wright. About Jeff Wright, who's a guitar player in Byron. So I wrote a song and recorded it and put that up on YouTube. And
so that's the aspect of your life that, I mean, you go to Europe as well, for maybe not for musical reasons lately, but for something else. And so I thought of that side of your life, and I wanted to ask a question.
Well, it does work, because when I was in France, and I had a little guitar. This is before I bought that electric one. I had a little guitar, and I was in a park. Anyway, south of Paris, down there somewhere, maybe L'Avion or somewhere like that. Anyway, wherever it was, I was walking through a park, and there was a bandstand thing, you know, those round things from 1800, and there was a guy just up there playing a guitar, and I went up with mine, and we just started playing a blues together, and he couldn't speak one word of English. I had a few words of French, but not much, and we played a blues, and we jammed, and we finished, and we laughed our heads off and said goodbye. And that's so fantastic, because we had the language of music but no words.
That's what I mean. It's that the cultural shift, when you travel around and then you have these sets of skill. I mean, that's how I meet most of the musician friends from overseas. I speak broken English. Their English is just as bad as mine, if it's not worse. And I'm trying to work out what the beats is on a dun-duns or a set of bongos or something. And then they're like watching, and then, excuse me, can I join? That's what. And I just say, yes, please, do come. And you don't necessarily talk. You just play in harmony. Try to be in harmony with each other, and you make friendship that way.
I was in Bali one time, and they opened up a restaurant at Seminyak. It was the Blue Ocean, I think, and
I remember that one.
And when they open it, they put on free food and drink for everybody. They invite everybody who wants to come. And there was a guitar player, congas, drums, all sorts of things. Not a lot of melodic stuff, more percussive. And so I was playing a drum. I can't remember what I was playing. And I remember we'd played for about a half an hour. And it was just fantastic. And there was Balinese, some guy from Europe, I don't know what language he was, and me, so none of us spoke the same language, and we were having this amazing jam, and then the guitarist started playing this thing, and it was in time. It was like time to get signature at 5/4 or something, I don't know what it was, and we were all stumbling along, and he looked around and he said, "Not good?" I said, "No." Not good. And so we said, okay, and we went back to something we could all play. But it was fantastic. And when it finished, we dispersed, and it was because we couldn't talk to each other. There's nothing to say.
But that's the thing, that you need just not good, and everyone, because you're hearing.
Not good. He picked it up because we couldn't play. We're all fumbling along. I
think that's what happened as well when we are when we gather by the beach playing percussions together. When it's just not right, it just died. Everyone voluntarily going dead with the beats. So the language of music is so easy to. I was talking to Charles about it.
I was wondering what your last word was going to be. The language of music is next stop.
Well,
that's okay.
It's so easy to not be deceived, because that's what I was trying to say. Is that I was talking to Charles about it the other day, how music can't lie, because you hear one wrong note, it's just like it's a stomach churning and it's cringe-worthy sort of
but see,
situation.
With musicians who are experienced, when they hear a bum note, they usually smile, because they know that the person didn't mean to do a bum note, they hit a bum note. But I've learned way back, if you hit a bum note, you just do it again 2 bars later, play the same bum note, because a bum note's only going to be 1 semitone wrong. So if you do it twice, then people think, he's done that, that's a weird note, must be jazz, so it's okay. So you get around it that way.
I read not very long ago that there's one really amazing musician, I forgot his name, that he has this amazing ability that when someone plays a wrong note, he would not make a fuss about it. He just take it from there on and make it into another beautiful thing. And it gives me the idea that there's never really a wrong note with someone who's so professional at.
Well, if you only play one, you know how to get around it. But if you play 2 or 3, then
Oh yeah, of course, it's stuffed up.
it's a stuff up.
Okay. The question I wanted to ask you was, you have the navigation. You always navigate this the decades of cultural shift. So looking back at your earliest work versus your most recent, what is the one feather piece of your identity that has remained untouched by time or industry trend?
Just being creative, because we'll go back to a visual. So I've done a lot of music stuff.
Yes.
So let's go to this one. I don't know if it's bright enough. I don't know how to brighten it up. You can show that. So what are you going to do?
I'm going to try to brighten up.
Oh, okay.
Here. This thing here. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
That's so good.
I'm not good at the tablet. I don't use a tablet ever. So this was
a
3. I did
an
exhibition called The Art of Framing, because I'd done picture framing for a couple of years. And so what this is, it's actually a very old photograph, obviously taken 38, I think, 1938, when the bridge was being finished.
This is the Sydney Harbour Bridge.
Yeah, and it's a sort of a fake photo because those planes are not there. They've been put in. So in the 30s, they faked photos. And I tied a ribbon to join the bridge up to help it along.
Yes.
And so I had about 20 of these, and I couldn't find the other photos. I've got another one.
Yes.
Which is this one.
This one is really interesting as well.
So I'm just posing with the thing, which was a tap coming out of a bathroom. So I sort of went 3D from the 2D image. So I have a photograph. So that's got a photograph of a bathroom, and there's a bathroom sink, and then I just got to tap over the sink.
Right.
And then
just show it again here. So that should be able to protect like this. And then that was the other one, the Sydney Harbour Bridge with the ribbon tied on it. So I've got Art of Framing. This is from your earlier work.
It was 86, I think.
You say you were doing framing works.
Yeah, I was doing framing, but then I turned it into a creative thing and had an exhibition.
So this is like your profession, one of your professions in your early life.
Yeah. So this is a publicity shot.
Oh wow! Then. Look at this.
So just to give an idea of how the framing thing worked, and that's my daughter just
very
posing.
Knowledgeable. These are beautiful photographs.
I put out a flyer with that on, as a photo saying the art of framing. So that's what that was.
I mean, nowadays there are artists who paint, with this sort of way of expression as well, where they bring the subject out of the frame.
Yeah. People do paintings and it comes across from the art across the frame onto the wall and things like that. So people have done all that sort of stuff.
Yes, it's really fantastic because it's crossing the boundaries of what's usual.
Yeah, it's going 2-dimensional to 3-dimensional, and then of course I've reduced it. That's now 2-dimensional. It's reduced, but anyway, that's life, isn't it?
Yeah.
So then after that, I bought a really old Mercedes-Benz, and 1972 Mercedes, massive, huge thing. It was a beautiful car, and I joined the Mercedes-Benz club in Sydney, and then after a couple of months, the editor resigned, and I said, I could do that maybe. And the job came with a computer, and it was a massive computer and powerful, like in those days. So it had a screen, it had a keyboard, it had a great big thing like this down the side, and so I learnt how to use this word processor, and and we put a magazine out. So
Yes, this is the part.
I haven't got a copy of the magazine, so I'm going to get to that in a sec.
Yes.
So we used to print out each page of the magazine. This is how we laid out, and we put it on the floor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then arrange the pages to see where we wanted them, and then put them back together. And I don't know, somehow in the program, make a magazine, and it got sent off to a printer. So we didn't have a printer, so it's quite different back then. This is what year? About 1994, I'd say, or 93, something like that. And so I was pretty ahead with computers by that stage. And then after that, I became a psychotherapist. And so I was the president of the New South Wales Psychotherapy Association. And
how long did you do that?
5 years. I was the president for 5 years. I was a counsellor psychotherapist for 22 years, I think, something like that.
That's a long.
So then we put out a magazine, and I don't know. I'll have to look at. I haven't seen this thing since.
This is the magazine, Counsellor.
Yeah.
Counsellor magazine, and let me read a tiny bit. In every arrow there lurks a child, an eternal child, something that is already becoming, is never completed, and calls for unceasing care, attention, and education. That is the part of the human personality which wants to develop and become whole. That's of course from Carl Jung.
Yeah.
And of course we all relate to that. That's at the front of the magazine that Raphael made.
So I didn't edit this. There's a president's report. Well, that would be me.
Would you like to read a line? Something interesting from the
this?
past? Yeah.
I haven't seen this since 19. When did it come out? 1999. So I haven't seen this since 1999.
Which volume is that? Is that the first volume?
Oh, I don't know.
That's
volume 22, number 9. What does that mean? No idea.
You're the publisher.
We put out lots. Last week I watched a program on detoxing from heroin using the drug naltrexone. No, I don't know what it is. Also a program on parents hitting children and the effects of that behaviour on society. Australian law at the present allows parents to hit their children in order to correct wrong behaviour. There is no definition of what wrong behaviour is, of course. As my association grows and becomes more public, I'll be supportive of utilising the expertise and skills of our members to comment, take action and influence this society. We have the potential to educate whoever is appropriate to educate, effect change in policy or laws and cooperate with other organisations in order to accomplish change. We now have a publicity position to enable us to interact with the world. Our association is on the move and there's a lot more for us to do in the future. Lee Cass, honorary president. Anyway, there's other stuff in there, but I don't know.
How did people react to that?
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know whether we actually corrected. It's become unfashionable to hit your kids anyway.
Of course. Yeah.
So.
But this is the period that it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh well, because I was be with people who'd say something happened and they hit their kids. I say, well, why did you hit their kids? I said, oh, my dad always hit me. And I said, well, your dad was doing the wrong thing. Does that mean that you should do the wrong thing too? Oh, I never thought of that. So that was what it was passed on. So if you've been hit by a parent, then you have a tolerance for violence, that's what it is, or abuse. And so they'd take a step forward when they heard that. Oh, I didn't think about that. No, stop hitting your kids. Doesn't do anything.
Well, it doesn't.
Teaches them violence so that they can go be violent to other people too, yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't change the circle of habits. So
I'd gone from the Mercedes-Benz magazine and then I'd become a counsellor and a psychotherapist.
Elaborate more on the now that you brought up this magazine and articles, because from locally now here in Byron, you always have articles as well, or response to the Echoes, the local newspaper, Byron Bay local newspaper, by the way, and it's not a big newspaper, but it's very local.
It's 20,000.
Yes, but it's. Could you elaborate more of your history with involvement in publishing, and because you used to
but we haven't got there yet.
Oh yeah, we haven't got there yet.
No.
Okay. That's fine.
So I was just saying, I became editor of the Mercedes-Benz magazine. So I learned about word processing, layout, graphics, and images. And then with the counsellor, I don't know if I did any photos for it, but I didn't edit this. We had a guy who was really amazing.
As an editor, you talk.
He did everything with the computer. He was our treasurer, our editor, membership manager, because he was just way ahead of everybody at that time.
Yes.
So he's good. But then after that, the next step is that I started a newspaper because I was in Bondi. And so what happened was, it was about the train. Lend-Lease wanted to put a train station in Bondi Beach.
Who's Lend-Lease?
So a development company
Okay.
who doesn't care about...
At what point was this in your life?
Not yet. We're not there yet.
All right, okay.
We're getting to that. This is the precursor to the Bondi View newspaper.
Okay.
So Lend-Lease wanted to put a railway station at Bondi Beach. What happens is, usually with a railway station, you put a railway station here,
Yes.
and then everybody from around here gets the train.
Right.
And at Bondi Beach, you've got a railway station here and the ocean.
The ocean, yeah.
So it was nonsense. It was Lend-Lease just wanted to put, there's the station, up here, lovely 10 stories of shops, like Bondi Junction. That's all they were interested in, was development.
Mm.
And so the locals all got together and started protesting because we knew it was nonsense.
Mm.
And then the government, in the end, said, it can't go ahead because there wasn't enough money or whatever it was. It didn't go ahead. But in the meantime, we started putting out leaflets and 2-page articles and distributing them everywhere, like dropping off to houses,
Yeah.
saying, protesting about the cessation. So after that, I wrote a book. This is with my ex and me. We wrote a book called Discovering Bondi because I was really interested in the history of Bondi. And
So this is
no, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Let's come first.
Just show the cover of the book. That's the cover.
Okay.
You could probably find at the Australian National Library because
Mm.
back then, if you write something, you have to register the ISN.
You had to give them a copy, two copies.
It requires 2 copies.
Yeah.
One goes to the National Library of Australia, and the other one, I forgot where it was.
In the Mitchell Library in
Oh yeah,
Sydney,
that's
I think.
one. Yeah, they
Mm.
used to harass me for that.
Yeah.
I never gave them copies for mine.
Yeah, so a lot of the photos in here are mine, and of course the ones from 1890.
Oops.
No, I didn't do that one. That's
Let
an
me-
1890 photo. I didn't take it.
So,
Promise. I
yeah,
promise
mm.
I didn't.
So this is
But I'll get a photo I did take. No, I didn't take that. Didn't take that. Anyway,
You'll find it.
this one I took protesting about Bondi being a sacred
Oh, that's
site.
a coloured photo
That's
as
the
well.
railway. That's the protest about the railway saying
That's
Bondi was a sacred
Colour
site.
photo of the story about the...
That one, yeah.
Cool.
So after that one, we started a newspaper because we realised that, I realised there was people in the north of Bondi didn't know what was going on to the south of Bondi politically with the council. And so we started a newspaper called the Bondi View, and so I edited it and wrote articles and took a lot of the photos. You can show the covers. I'll show these are all my they're all my photos.
These are all Raphael's photos. Really cool. And can I just show
Yeah, what?
the series of it? So is that the first one?
No, they're not in order.
Or they're all
I'm just
not
showing
in
the
order,
covers
but
for the
Yeah,
photos.
just show you the sample of these.
So that's the Kite Festival in Bondi.
Yeah, and this one is called
Hail Spring.
Spring.
We had this enormous hail in
Enormous
spring.
Hail
Mm.
on the cover. So this is just some of it. By the beach, look like there's hot swimmers.
Yeah.
And
That's a competition where hundreds of people go swimming from there to Bronte or something. It's a challenge.
is it like the Iron Man kind of thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
something like that.
Now this one is the Eastern Beaches View.
Oh, so that's the Bondi View still.
Oh, I mean the bottom. Yeah, still the Bondi View, but
Yeah.
that's wow, 2005.
Yeah. So that's probably one of the
Feels
last
like,
ones.
Feels like not too long ago.
Yeah.
And this one is 2005 edition as well.
So that got me into the Hansard Records, which is the Hansard Records is Parliament's journal.
Right.
And because we did this, we had a local MP. No, she wasn't even local. She tried to get us for, is that the one? She tried to get us politically about this because she said we were racist, and we weren't. So anyway,
so
we
this
won
one
that
is
battle.
with the cover of the Russian doll at the front.
Yeah, because they were this particular building, just like Byron.
Yes.
They said that the tower at the top was the height of the building, and they wanted to refurbish and build up to there. So we were protesting and saying, no, that's an aerial, that's not a building. So there was this big fight about that. So we just gave them some shitty publicity
So
just
there's
on
a lot
purpose.
of community issues for sure.
Yeah.
And this one, Peace on Earth, sounds like a protest about some.
No, it's Christmas. No, it's just Christmas.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
So, and this other
Now, so just
one,
another thing, this is the view now. So
Yes.
we expanded and we started going to Bronte, Coogee, Clovelly, Maroubra and Randwick, which are the suburbs heading south from Bondi. And then shortly afterwards, another book opened up. People opened up another one of these, a smaller one called The Beast.
Yes.
And then they were doing south of Bondi, so we pulled back. And it was costing a lot to get it delivered anyway, so we
And
came
this,
back.
This one is of people rafting or boating, whatever. How
No,
do you
there's
call it?
lifesavers.
Oh, lifesavers, sorry. The Bondi
They're practicing to rescue people who are in trouble.
The thing,
It's a competition.
The interesting thing about this the Bondi View community newspaper is it has this
I've got to
thing
find
saying self-awarded best community newspaper in 2004, and I would love, knowing Raphael being very sarcastic.
Not sarcasm, it's called satire, darling. It's not
Satire,
sarcasm.
sorry. I would like to.
Which is
to
the one
have
that did
you
that?
explain that
Oh, okay.
part.
Here it is on page 5. I've got to put my glasses on. So it says the Bondi View editorial. The Bondi View proudly announces its selection as Best Community Newspaper 2004. Because what happened, there was a magazine called the Wentworth Courier, which was our competition, and they put this thing on their cover saying that they were the best newspaper of the year. And who voted for them? No idea, we didn't. So I said we proudly announced our selection as Best Community Newspaper. At an awards presentation proudly attended by journalists, photographers, sales reps and the publishers of the Bondi View on February 13th, 2004, which is all the people associated with the Bondi View, mind you. Mm-hmm. The Bondi View was nominated, well, funny about that, and won the awards for Best Black and White Newspaper, Best 32-page Newspaper, Best Spelling, Best Investigative Articles, and the newspaper most read on the beach between 7 and 7:45 a.m. on February the 3rd, 2004. That's very specific.
Even the timing.
As a result of these awards, the Bondi View will now wear on its front cover the banner self-awarded Best Community Newspaper 2004, because we didn't lie. Whereas the other one just said Best Community Newspaper.
It's a claim that doesn't support.
Yeah, so we just said self-awarded, so it's true. So we kept that on it for till the end. I think we kept that
And
going.
how did it go? How did the community respond to this?
We used to drive around in the car. We had a thing on the side saying the Bondi View, and people would wave at us, saying, "Way," it just
That's
was
so
like funny. It was fun.
And how many people was it involved in the publishing?
No, we put out 46,000 or something. And the other newspaper sued us because they said we were lying. They
About what?
They said that we lied about how many we sold.
Right.
How many we distributed.
Yes.
Does it say? I don't know where it says it.
If you got sued, or what happened?
They took us to court because they said false claim. We made a false claim, and they didn't realise that we were legitimate. We had it.
You kept records.
No, there's a special board that Newspaper Association of New South Wales or something, where you have to formally submit how many you printed. So the printer would know we did 46,000.
Yes.
The Echo does less than 20,000, so we were doing 46. So we were big,
So you have a
substantial.
solid
Yeah, and so anyway, so from there Have I done this book? Yeah, I've done that
Yeah,
one.
you did.
So from there, we started getting people writing in saying, "Oh, my grandma did this," or "My uncle did this,"
Yeah.
and so so we put out a book called the Best of the Bondi View, and I just edited. I wrote a couple of stories in it.
So the
But
images are all your images in there, yeah?
But like Bondi Bill, so someone was his daughter, and she sent in a story about him. So
Yeah, you can put it here.
you go through it and have a look or whatever you want.
Put it here.
Just there,
Yes.
Okay.
And so that's
technical information required.
yeah. These are technical information. Just pictures. So this is actually those things are really that's an interesting book to if you want to. So all these media that you're putting now are actually really good archives of what was happening in
Yeah,
those
they're
years.
historical books now.
Historical books,
Yeah.
and it always relate to someone in a society, in a community, because there's always going to be somebody finding maybe an image of their grandpa, and then there's story to all this stuff, and so these are very important part of the history.
This is Shark Attack's boy off Bondi. So he was a young kid, Harry Sheen. Oh, look at the photo they put on. They still do it in media. They still freak you out by saying, "Oh." Anyway, so then he wrote us a story about that, and then that's him at the time, so in the 90s.
Yes.
Took a photo of him and his wife and sent it to us. So it's just fabulous interaction with people who are just really
Indeed.
interested in, and of course the homeless situation in Bondi was the same as here.
And so this is during the time that you were not practicing music at all.
No, so I was writing, clearly. I didn't realise I was writing. So I started writing articles and editing and photographing. So that's my photo.
Yes.
And he's just living in this
really
cave
nice.
at Bondi, the south end of Bondi. It's just a guy living there. Just like everybody
Is
else
it like
up
under
here.
a bridge or?
No, it's under it's sort of under the footpath, but it's a cave. And it's been there for a million years. So but it's like here, you talk to a homeless, like, "G'day, how you going?" They say, "Yeah, good, thanks, mate. You need anything?" "Oh, yeah, wouldn't mind an apple or money or whatever it is."
Yes.
It's the same. So anyway, that was what that was about, that book.
Did you?
And that covers from the Bondi Pavilion used to have these on the walls.
That's the Bondi Pavilion, right?
Yeah, I think that's off the wall. It was actually painted on the wall, and of
Right.
course, everybody loved them. And then the council did a clean up of the pavilion. And I think they painted them all.
And the artist.
The council's amazing. So there's stuff like that on the wall. This would have been a metre high or so.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another one off the wall. Can you see that one?
Yes.
And that's
yes.
all gone. It's all gone.
Oh God, these are really cool art.
They're beautiful. It's 40s stuff. 30s it is. It's 1930s.
Also because it portrayed the beauty of human within those pictures. I mean, like you're very connected to emotions. When you are looking at images of humans, and
Yeah.
these are really nice. What happens? This pretty much tells the time.
Lifesavers, yeah.
History from its own time.
Yeah, so the pavilion was opened in 1938, I think. So,
Very
I mean, that's
early.
definitely 30s. Look at that. The
Yes.
swimsuit and everything.
Yes.
I haven't seen a ball
Was
that
it in
big.
those days where they had to measure how
Bikini, no, that was in the
earlier on? Yeah?
50s or 60s or something, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Bikinis weren't invented. If you Google when bikinis were invented,
Right.
I think they were invented in Hawaii or something, but Australia got them really quickly.
I think I thought it was Brazilian bikinis. I have no idea. I don't know about
Where's
fashion.
Bikini Island? I don't know.
I'm
So
not-
from there, then the next thing I did was I wrote a book about relationships
Oh yes, explain this.
because I learnt that. Well, so what happens is that the way this is the synopsis of the entire book. It says start. So when I was a counsellor and psychotherapist, I'd be talking to people often about their families.
Is it mine?
Must be. I turned mine off.
Yeah, keep going.
So, it seemed to me that all relationships follow a very similar pattern.
Yes.
So what I did was it starts off with who are you and your family and who's your partner and who's their family, because what your family does rubs off, right? You follow your family. Like the example was family violence, like being smacked by your parents. So the first thing about yourself in a relationship is who are you and what's the relationship with your family, and how does that dictate to who you are as you grew up. The next thing is your self-esteem. Are you a confident person or not? How does that figure in a relationship? The next thing is when you meet a partner. So here you've met your partner and you've got your first solution. So you have an argument about who does the washing up. You sort it out. And then you get into a full-time relationship. And then you have little bumps. I call it little things happen, like you didn't wash up last night, but I didn't say anything about it. But you didn't wash up last Wednesday either, and I didn't say anything about it, but it goes under the carpet. And then what happens eventually is that you have problems, you need to talk about the problems, then you can't listen to the other person. You didn't wash up for 2 weeks in a row. Yes, I did. And then there's an argument because no one's listening to the other person. In a relationship, there's lies and secrets. So we're actually going downhill here, okay? People get desperate, and then there's a reflection about all that. So there's my reflection about where your relationships are. It gets to that stage. So at this stage, the relationship goes to part 3, breaking up. So it goes up that way, or this way is making it. So this book's called Making It or Breaking It. So I did both sides because most books always talk about breaking up and what's wrong. They never talk about what to do when you break up. So in the breakup part, I talk about Hollywood love. So people break up, they get back together, and everything's lovely. It becomes too hard again. Then I talk about how people break up, what to do if you've got children as friends, separating, it's all over, move on. That's the separate. Then the other one, to try and get it together, is making it. So education. So if you've had a long-term relationship and you're having problems, what's going to impact that? Education. You've got to learn something new because you're going to follow your old patterns. How did your parents fight? Did they ever talk about it? No, they probably didn't. So that's not going to work today. So education, learn to speak and listen. You know, that thing about I hear what you're saying, I understand what you're saying, and I have a difference in that. Okay, very simple. I feel upset when you tell me that I'm got the wrong sort of haircut, rather than don't tell me what to do. Okay. More feelings, more solutions, talks about sex. I have no idea what's in there. Love, what that means, I have no idea about that. And then managing the journey. So that means consistent, continual management. Like you didn't make me a cup of coffee and I asked you to, and you said, oh, I didn't hear you say that. Oh, really? Well, and you talk about it. So it's managing that aspect of. I'm only talking about trivial things because it gives you an idea, I think.
It's really good.
And then keep on making it work. So in other words, if you want a relationship and you're having some problems, you got to work. Keep on making it work. So the subtitle was A Travel Guide Through the Journey of Love, Making It or Breaking It. So
how is that book for the readers that have reached out to you with this book?
Yeah.
So you would have had people read the book. How have they responded? What are their feedbacks?
Well, because it has
Because
worksheets
really
in it.
good.
It has worksheets in it, so people can do things. All the drawings are mine. They're quite crude, but they got the point across. So
Yes.
this is somebody who's exploding from not feeling any support. They have a partner who doesn't listen. They feel alone. They've got money problems. They don't have enough sex. They have too much sex. They travel. They've got awful bosses and they explode. So I just did a drawing of someone exploding.
Yep.
And that's also called anger or depression.
Is there everything that's too much sex?
Too much sex. Well, one person wants more sex than the other one. That's what that means.
In that case, yes. Okay.
Yeah, so for one person, that's too much sex. So that was a little book I put out, and I sent it off to a publisher, and they said, it looks like a workshop book. It doesn't look like a book. I went, oh, okay. Publishers, this is another reject letter, just another one. They always say something that's stupid.
But because this is also doesn't follow the rules.
That's right.
It's normality. And what I like about artists is there are they really are very rebellious in their own terms, and not with the mean to hurt, but because they are misunderstood.
Yeah, but you think about Dali, like Dali's stuff is outrageous, and he should have just said, oh no, that doesn't fit into our idea of art, go away. But, oh, Picasso, oh, that's a weird painting, we don't need that sort of thing, we want trees, please. So somehow people break through it.
Bridging the boundary,
Yeah,
crossing
somehow.
the boundary. And this is why, like, oh, it's not like a book.
I know, if I
I
wanted...
mean, if you listen to the children's stories, some of them are ridiculous. And
Yeah.
we still read it because it helps with the children's vocabulary, and the pictures are sometimes so ridiculous,
I know.
and the story is repetitious sentences except one word altered in that sentence. Monday, you're learning about this, and then on
I know,
Tuesday, and
I know kids' books are funny, but there are some really good ones, and
yes,
so you
there's a lot of great.
But I don't understand why the really bad ones are even printed. I just don't understand it. But it's like all those thousands of books that are also printed.
There's one of the books like on there's the golden books with rhymes.
Little golden books.
Yeah, little golden books.
Yeah.
I just threw away one because the illustrations is spookiest, and I thought this is not. It's so bad that I just, for me as an adult, I just think this is a nightmare to look at this stuff. How do you go to sleep having that illustration stuck in your head? I just threw it when I got given that, and also because my English was enhanced by reading children's book at the start. I mean, I did start reading some really crazy book that I didn't understand. It was the one book that's compiles. It's a compilation of the greatest stories of the sea or something like this. It was in a library of the seas, and I didn't understand. I was so curious about learning English, and it happens to be I go every week. I would not go anywhere else or to school or anything. I go and open this book because I was so desperate. I really want to enhance my English. And I opened this section, this chapter about the Titanic.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was the illustration of, I think it was the pictures of the Titanic. You know how the stories, the ship being split into half. I didn't understand, but I read it till the end, and I got the big picture. And that was an exposure to like very well written story, but I didn't understand it. So later on, I discovered a children's book, and I realized, this is really good for my grammar. And I understood from that point how to treat myself. Whenever I learn a new language, I told myself, I will be learning the language as if I am a year-old child. Learning new vocabulary.
And how many languages do you know now? You speak Italian, don't you?
A little.
No, I heard you.
A little bit of Italian and French. I mean, if I find myself in a situation where I have no option and they just speak it, somehow the brain just adjusts to forcing itself to understand what they're trying to, because people have their gesticulation comes along. Brought up, and so then you kind of have to adapt the words and what they're trying to say, and so you just kind of understand in a way. So, but it helps when you're attempting to speak Italian or French. If you understand some Portuguese word and English word and Spanish, there's the interjection. Then I know it in this word.
Because you've heard it. Okay, it's different. Yeah.
Yes, I at the moment it's just 5, basically.
Right.
Yes, please. Let's.
So then I moved up to. We've done that book.
Yes.
I moved up to Byron in 2013. So I've been here 13 years, and shortly afterwards I formed a band here called the Byron Lighthouse Band, and put out a CD.
This one is the CD, and it's so cool. Look at that thing, sort of enlightened.
Sort of enlightened.
How did you come? I know this is you behind the... What makes you come?
Because we weren't, so that's why.
Sorry.
But
You didn't even try to be enlightened.
yeah, but
So
anyway,
explain, give me-
so we put out 6 tracks, and I gave a copy to every DJ at Bay FM,
Right.
and I don't believe anybody played it. Not one person wrote back to me and said, "Oh, thank you for your CD. We'd love to play it," because I thought they'd be promoting a local band, but I don't think.
I would have played. I was at BMM. I would have played it if I'd known that.
It depends what year that was. This was what year? Is it 2019? 2018, 19. So the thing is that a couple of DJs who I knew I spoke to and they interviewed me because of we wrote a song called West Byron. It was,
what sort of
hang on, protesting
blues?
Protesting West Byron. So sort of,
Okay.
and so we were on the program, and they said, "Could we use that song as a promo for any political thing?" I said, "Sure," and they sort of played about 3 seconds that you have no idea, because when you use a hit record as a promotion, a hit record,
Yes.
everybody knows it.
Everybody knows.
But if it's a song that's not been played very much, nobody
3
knows
seconds.
it. It was ridiculous. You know, they played 5 seconds of the song, no one would have known it was us, so it was crazy. So it's a Love You Up was a funky thing about having a really loving relationship. Be Kind and Good was about be kind and good to yourself.
Yes.
Longboard, surfing, and the Rails Friendly Bar. I've no idea. What would that have been about?
The Wales.
The Rails Friendly Bar. No idea.
Well, I know that Belonging used to be a whale hunting.
The Rails.
Oh, the Rails Friendly Bar. That is the Rail Friendly Bar would be. I mean, the rail. They have the bar there.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's right. And then the other one was Warm-Hearted Woman. So it was written as a warm-hearted man, me, but I changed it because we had a female singer, Julie.
Julie. Yeah, I know Julie.
You know Julie.
It's very interesting.
So you don't know anybody else. No. So Julie, Warm-Hearted Woman. So it was a Middle Eastern feel, boom, bop, bop, boom, bop, boom, bop, that sort of feel,
yes.
with a rock drumming. And it was great. That was a great song. I'm very proud of this CD. I love the songs.
How many songs in it? 6.
6 songs. I think
Wow, some of them are over 5 minutes long.
So I got probably 100 copies. We sold 96. I've got 4 left.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
But then, of course, but it's just a business card. You couldn't. I don't think we sold. I think I sold them. Gave most of them away because people don't have CD players.
How long?
No one's got CD players.
How long did you guys hold on the
band?
the band
About
for?
2 years, I think.
2 years.
Yeah.
And all of these are local musicians, no?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I recognize the faces, but only you and Julie, who are, of course, I talked to, and hellos and goodbye.
Well, Julie's forming a new band, and she's got Dave, the bass player.
Right.
He's playing with her, Dave Costello.
Yes.
But he's retired, I think, and he's retired. So
They look very young to retire from. Oh, you retired from music.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Now, in
Another question. Yeah, really interested. Yeah, go on. I'm interested in your next question.
well, because it's just that you're very unique in your own way, because.
Just like you, darling.
I agree. I tend to agree with that. I'm special, just like everybody else.
Yeah, good. That's a good line. I'm special, just like everyone else. I like that. Good line for a song.
It's your next song.
You're special, just like everyone else. Wow.
I'm special.
Didn't someone have a song called "I'm Special"?
Yeah.
What was it? Oh, I can't think of what it is. It doesn't matter.
Rings the bell.
Yeah, it rings a bell
You're
somewhere.
Special. I think it's called You're Special.
But wouldn't have I'm like everyone else. Anyway.
You travel.
Travel?
Yeah. And so from the noise of the cities, the noise of unique noises and language rhythms as you hear, like as you travel to different culture, different environment. Of course, you hear the language being spoken and the way. Let's say, like if you go to Hawaii, the native Hawaiians there with the ukulele, the rhythm of their the language rhythm there is different to the blues, and environmental hum basically different to what you're familiar where you are in your home base. And
what's your question?
Is there a question? Is that how has the sonic architecture of different cities, their unique noise, language rhythms, and environmental hums manifested in the specific pacing of your prose or the structure of your melodies? Does that have any influence on when you put your, especially now at this age when you play music, or do you find yourself comfortable with what you know?
So Javanese music is beautiful and soft and gentle, and I like the what's the band? What do they call the bands? There's a word they have with percussion stuff. And then you go to Bali and it's the same music, but it's twice as fast, just to drive me crazy. So Java would be jing ding 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 ding. So that doesn't do anything for me. There's nothing I can learn. The drumming is a bit strange and repetitive. So
I think it's called
gamelan orchestras. Yeah, okay. So that's there. Japan offered nothing to me. I mean, I saw some people dancing. It was sort of like a disco, boom, a boom cha boom cha boom cha disco thing, and they were singing traditional Japanese stuff over it, and it was like karaoke. So it didn't do anything for me because it was recorded.
Karaoke is a Japanese thing.
Yeah, well, they was singing and dancing in front of the recorded stuff. It was nothing live, so I don't know. I went to a Caribbean. It used to be a protest in Notting Hill in England. So I thought there'd be Jamaican bands, and it was a weekend of recorded music. Like the speaker boxes were as big as this room.
Wow!
But there wasn't a live musician to be seen. I was bitterly disappointed because I thought I'd see steel drum bands. And on the way there was a drum circle, same as anywhere else, but they were very, very good. Mainly African guys, and then a few English people, obviously, and they were dancing, and the dancing was spectacular. Sort of like if you've ever seen Gabriel Otu dance, he's a beautiful dancer, and so they were doing that in the street, and that was on the way to this festival, which it seemed to be a drug festival. They use carbon dioxide capsules, nitrous oxide.
I don't know.
Now they have these little, what you put in a soda water maker, the old ones.
Oh.
Anyway, these little capsules, they're all over the street. So it's a weekend of drugs and listening to recorded music. So it wasn't interesting to me at all.
Right.
And so that's England. And I went to a blues club in London, which was the same as a blues club in Australia, the same standard of music.
Okay.
Pretty nice, down to earth. I saw a really Kid Creole and the Coconuts in London, which was a band from the 70s, a New York band from the 70s they were playing. Anyway, so they've provided a great influence because it's they do Latin rhythms as well as Jamaican as well as funky stuff. What other countries?
Thailand, you went to, because you traveled.
Thailand, zero. Influences, zero.
Did you go to Vietnam as well?
Vietnam, zero. Cambodia, zero. Borneo, zero. No influences.
No influences?
No.
So you pretty much put your own thing together from...
Well, my influence from Australian records I listened to over the years, but in my travels over the last, say, 10, 20 years, there's not much that's influenced me. France, what would influence me from France? Italy. Everything that you hear in the radio here, I mean, I listen to a world music program and it's got music from all over the place.
Right. And what does world music to you?
Well, I like, well, a lot of it's African, some of it's absolutely beautiful, Middle Eastern. It's in languages I don't even know what language it is.
Same. I find it the same.
Yeah, so they call it global music, and I really like it. Some of the singing's just beautiful, and percussion or whatever. Some of them, the new ones are putting a rock beat, like a funk beat, underneath the. So if they've got, say, a Middle Eastern one, like I did before, they'll have boom, boom, boom. Well, they'll just do clapping right through it.
Yeah.
And so if you're Middle Eastern, you ignore the clapping and the boom, but if you're new and young, you hear the boom, and you probably don't hear the other percussive stuff, which is playing complex rhythms.
Did you ever like flamenco?
Flamenco, I saw flamenco, yeah. There's flamenco group around here I've seen a couple of times. I was in Barcelona and saw a family, because seems like the village goes on stage and they all perform for each other, and they bring the kids out, and they all do, and it's beautiful.
Flamenco.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
Yeah. So that's quite. I love the passion
From the dance,
of
from the voice, because you flamenco singing is so different.
Okay, so Cuba. I went to Cuba. Now their influence, big time, absolutely big time. My most favourite country in the planet. The music was fantastic. I think one of the best things was the fact that there was a 10-piece band on stage, and the 3 brass players were women, bass player was a woman, keyboard player was a woman, and guy on drums, guy singing. Just incredible. And then another night I saw a band, I couldn't figure out who the lead, they had 2 singers out the front playing chord and maracas, and I couldn't figure out who was the lead singer. I thought, they're not singing. And the bass player was playing the bass, dancing steps and singing the lead vocal like it was easy, like nothing. So they're a big influence from that, but not into my music, just in absolute enjoyment. And I'm actually thinking of writing a song and doing...
Oh, I'm so sorry about this. I thought
just turn the sound off it.
I did turn it off. I'm sorry. There's settings somewhere that stuffed it up. I'm going to check on the sound setting.
Just turn it off.
Turn it off, exactly.
Where's your switch? On the side. No? Mute. There you go. Beautiful. So I'm telling you what to do. It's your phone.
You were thinking of writing a song.
Because I've never written a song that's got a lot of percussion in it, and I did when we did the song called "Warm Hearted Woman," which had the Middle Eastern Lebanese sort of drum rhythm. Oh, yes. Someone said, "Oh, you should have done more of that in the middle," because I introduced the song and then we didn't come back to it. So I was just thinking I'd like to do a song where I play a lot of percussion and probably get someone else to play with and put the drum kit in as boom cha, and then have a lilting melody. But that's easier to say. The hard bit is getting the words, the melody, and the arrangement. So,
but you write.
I can do it. I think I'll do. So okay. So coming to what I'm doing now. First of all, so last year I brought out this book. I'll show it.
Look at this. The Naked Rock Star. This is... I remember you spoke to me about this last year. And there's reviews from really good. Ita Butros is...
Ida Buttrose.
Okay, my pronunciation.
That's all right.
Excuse. So he sounds like a spunk, but his editing leaves much to be desired. And then by Philip Fraser, I taught him all I knew about editing. He didn't listen. And another from Paul Kelly, he said, I love the stories of me, and he was a pleasure to play with. Renee Geyer, he's definitely a great ragtime and conga player. Stuart Cook. Few people in the US know Raphael Lee Cass or Fred Cass, but he stands alone in a crowd, chronicling the music and arts in Melbourne recently. Raphael is the only author who knows how to use a collective noun as a singular. He writes good, and he writes good. Lobby Lloyd, writing a brilliant book like this display. Writing a brilliant book like this displays great timing, like his drumming. Anthony Albanese. You got Anthony Albanese to review this book.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
As you know, I support the arts 100%. I'll support Raphael if he'd like a pension. We are doing all we can. We are doing all we can to pace out mercury mining. This is such a good, it's got great review. So author Raphael's meandering through band's career, drugs and sex gives a good understanding of how to fail in the business of rock and roll, or as Michael Gadinsky, is that how you pronounce it, put it while eating a bagel. To succeed, you have to be in the right place at the right time, or know how to stab your fellow band members in the back guiltlessly.
Yes. So
That's the book.
Do you like-
if you like to find this book, for sure Raphael will refer you to
it's
how
on
to
it's
find
on
it.
it's on the website.
Tell us the website.
The Naked Rockstar on Facebook, or you can go to my email address, which is Lee with 5 E's, LEEEE.C for Cass.C @gmail.com.
Right. And people can write to you, reach out to you, and get a copy of this book, because this book would be a really good one as well. So.
Yeah.
And so, can you elaborate? Can you share with us your experience, at least, of meeting famous, very very famous musicians and collaborating, or maybe jamming, playing with them, whatever your interactions that you had with those famous people in your time?
So this is a photo, pretty bad one.
Yes.
It has some famous people in it.
So that's the first one.
So this is Noni Hazelhurst, which is she's a famous Australian film star, actor. This is Martin Armiger, who's a famous Australian writer, film music maker, a million awards, but he passed away 2019. Randy Bulpin, who played with Mondo Rock in Melbourne, he's now in America. Some famous people in there.
These are your photographs as well, yeah?
Sorry?
Are they your photographs, or from you collect?
I don't know who took the photo. I've got no idea.
Okay, that's.
Yeah, it doesn't say who took it.
So what inspired you to put this book together?
Why did I want to write an autobiography? Because I had some good stories to tell. That's
Fair
what
enough,
I thought.
Fair enough. We love good stories.
Yeah, so there's a cassette I put out with, I have to say Paul Kelly, because no one knows who the band is, but this was when we were a socialist band, which is everyone was equal.
This is
Paul,
the high-rise bomb?
Yeah, but that's Paul Kelly. Oh, there's another photo. Get a photo of the band. Where is it? I can't find a photo of the band. No, that'll do. That's Martin Armiger and me, and that's Paul Kelly and me.
Wow.
And so we had 4 writers in the band, and Paul Kelly only wanted to be the writer. So after about a year, he left. He wouldn't sing our songs, and the way it worked in Melbourne at that time, or in Australia, I mean, you didn't have a band called Jimmy Barnes and the Cold Chisel. You had Cold Chisel,
Yes.
and whoever wrote a song in Cold Chisel, Jimmy sang the song because he was the lead vocalist, and Paul Kelly, he wouldn't do that. So if I wrote a song, he wouldn't sing it. And so we had 4 songwriters in the band, Paul, Martin, Chris and me, and he wouldn't do our songs. So
Why did he not want to do that?
because he wanted to be Australia's most well-known
Songwriter?
singer,
Or singer?
which he is, isn't he?
Yes.
He's extremely well-known.
Well,
So
I think
he was ambitious, and that's what he wanted to do, but it wasn't the way bands worked in that time.
right. Now it's changed. You have songwriters
Yeah, so if you want to do it his way, what he should have done was said, okay, I'll pay everybody $500 a week and do as I tell you. We'd all gone, okay, sure.
So royalty.
No, just pay us a wage every week.
Okay.
That's how you do it if you want to be the person who tells everyone what to do. But in those days, it was a socialist band. Everybody equally put in their bit.
The creative side, yes.
Anyway, so that's what happened there.
Such a colourful life you have, an amazing tapestry interwoven to everything in the life of people who, like me, who don't know so much about the music world in Australia in those days. To have this part, this part of those the history being explained by you, what was like.
Yeah, so what I did was I wanted to write about, so you asked me why to write it.
Yeah.
So nobody knew about the link in Melbourne in the 60s and 70s, the link to the art scene in Melbourne. So, for example, I was in a band that did music behind poets, and there were some famous poets in there, Judith Wright's and one of Australia's leading poets.
What's his name?
Judith Wright,
Oh, she's a lady. Judith.
Yeah, and Jenny Brown at the time, Gary Hutchinson. There were three leading poets at least, and we did music behind them. And then there was the Australian Performing Group, which had a theatrical group, and we played. There was a play, so Martin, who was in a band with me, wrote the music for the play, and then we formed a band to play the music in the play. And then we had Red Simons from Skyhooks playing bass in that band, and then about 2 years later, he got the job as musical director for another play in town, and so he got me into play with that. And so we had four really good musicians playing in a real theatre, not real theatre, a standard theatre, you know, seats and a stage, rather than Australian Performing Group would be, the stage would be anywhere and the seats would be anywhere, maybe circular. They just design everything, and so there was this crossover that I thought was unique and people didn't know about it, and also the fact that we had a thing like the TF Much Ballroom, which was sort of a theatrical setup with different sorts of bands, all sorts of bands and poets and comedians and all sorts of things. So it was sort of like cabaret in a way, and that would have a huge audience, and no one knows about that. So I wrote about all those things. It's all in detail in here.
No, the reason people don't know because there's no media coverage, or
no, well, it's gone. So I mean, that's why I wrote this. But
it's a lot of history.
There's a lot of history in there. Yeah,
it's a lot of history in there, and then for sure it's very valuable for so many. How many have you been? Have you been selling a lot of this copy?
Well, I'm just selling it myself, so
okay.
I'm not bothering with publishers.
You didn't put to the local bookshops at all?
No.
Why not? Didn't you try?
There's only one.
I mean, there's no bookshops around the Shire in other.
I don't know. I just couldn't be bothered. I just put it up online. If people want it, they get it. Yeah. Easy.
How do they buy it? You can get it from Amazon or any other?
No, from me.
Okay, directly. Directly.
Look, I've sent copies to publishers and they don't reply, because even a personal one, I got a personal email address off a publisher in Melbourne.
Yes.
And I wrote to him and said, I've written a book about Melbourne, and no reply, so I just can't be bothered. And then there's other bookshops I've written to, bookshops, and they go, yes, well, we'll send your information in. If you don't hear from us in 3 months, then it means we've rejected your email. So I went, I can't be bothered with that sort of behaviour. Because honestly, if this had The Naked Rockstar written by Jimmy Barnes, right?
They would pick it up.
Straight away, right? Or Paul Kelly, or all the other famous people I played with, they'd love it. But so I don't care.
You know, for me, book or storytelling is very fascinating as well, because it's enhanced. It's like you have to really be very able to express in language to reach people with the story, because it's not like looking at the photographs and it's a certain frame that is depicted, it's projected to you and you cannot see. Let's say if I take a photograph of you and I frame it just to here, that means I'll cut your ears. And I can't imagine what your ears might look. I could imagine, but like I would not know for real. But storytelling attached with photographs and all the layout of the pages and this takes a lot of work and a sense of creativity as well. Because otherwise it's just a mess if you don't know how to put it together. And it's often underappreciated.
Yeah, I think I paid for a layout artist to do this, so I mean it took ages and ages and ages to get. And also I put the picture. I wanted the photos in the text because a lot of people put your photos in the middle because it's easier.
Yes.
And I didn't want that. I wanted if you're looking at this band, then I want the description about it. So not have that picture in the middle. So I'm talking about a band. You have to go to the middle. So anyway, that cost a lot more. And also, you can see I've put in QR codes.
Yeah, you have the QR. Oh, that's interesting. If you get this book, it has QR code that leads to Raphael's YouTube account for musics that he writes.
So there's a lot of those. So talking about the music, and then you can see that there's the YouTube connection is there.
Can I ask you some more questions?
Yeah, I'm done with my history, so it's up to you.
It's fantastic.
It's all in here.
You are my second guest, you know that?
Oh, gosh.
I chose our friend
Raphael, he was first, and then Raphael second. And the next one is
Charles,
Raphael.
the French guitarist, Charles.
Charles, yeah.
Charles, because he's very young, and his personality has this sense of, it's like an old soul, very, very wise, very calm. And with the music, he's like the bridge across generation for me. So I specifically chose him also because it was my first podcast, and we were all just throwing the idea, and I didn't know that he's done podcast himself. And you did mention that you played in France with this guy, and you connect through music. But beyond that, as you connect with people, without speaking the language, beyond spoken words.
Do you think this is going to blow out the image because it's got sun on it?
No, it won't.
Okay.
Repeat that, please. Can I distract you? Before you answer my question, repeat that, please. That's a D minor. Is that?
D.
Yeah, that's D. And that's E.
Yeah.
D, E, A.
Yeah.
And F.
Yeah. Well done.
Guitar chords, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, please describe this. I mean, well done. Yes, I see the chords, but the
I'll say it to you.
D, E, A, F.
Good work. Now, what does that equal? Say it again.
No, D, E, A, F.
Again.
I'm deaf.
Wink, wink.
So smart.
Nudge,
Sorry.
nudge.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. What was that again? I'm deaf. Oh, smart.
Yes. I made that up. It's the only T-shirt in the whole world.
You did?
It's the only one in the world.
You sell that?
No, I don't care. You
But, I mean,
you can manufacture it if you want to.
Of course, but I'm asking if you have more to say.
I could do AC/DC. I really love AC/DC. I could do that, the chords.
But this is great.
Yeah.
Very creative. So that's the art side to you that is limitless exploration.
I think so.
Exploration. That's really good to explore.
So currently, since you asked that, my influences from overseas. I wrote a song about being aged, and then recorded a song about starting again. So I've started a series of songs. So last year I wrote a song about age, being aged, people who are aging. And then I've written a song about a woman looking after her husband who's severely ill. So it's palliative care, but she's also a woman who wants to have a life. So the analogy, she's chained to the metaphor, she's chained to the bed, chained to his hospital bed. And so that's a dilemma. Should she leave and have a life, or should she stay and look after him? So she's stuck. She can't actually leave. So I wrote a song, it's called The Ballad of Susie Gordon. And then I'm just in the middle of recording a song called The Ballad of Greg Smith. And Greg Smith was a young boy who was abused by his family, and then his mother kicked him out and he went to a orphanage at the age of 10, I believe. And by the time he was 16, he was on the streets, and then he was doing alcohol, drugs and stealing, I think. And I don't know about the stealing. And then he was living in the bush near Lismore for 10 years, actually in the bush. And he was drinking and growing dope, and he said one night, after 10 years in the bush, two angels visited him that night, and they asked him what the hell he was doing. So he had an epiphany, and the next day he decided to stop what he was doing and get out of there. And he left the bush and he was crossing the road and he got hit by a car, and he ended up in Tweed Hospital for 2 months. So then he came out of the hospital.
This is Tweed Hospital.
Yeah. And then he came out of hospital, and then he decided what he wanted to do. And he lived in the sandhills behind Byron Beach, somewhere up near Yaks, somewhere up there.
Yes.
And he enrolled in TAFE, and he didn't have HSC, I think, so he had to study to get that. And he went to university and he got a degree in sociology, and now he's a doctor of sociology, and he teaches at the uni at Coffs Harbour. So I've written a song about that story. So I'm recording that right now. So I'm up to doing the vocals this week.
What's the title again?
The Ballad of Greg Smith.
It's an amazing story.
And then after that one, I'm going to do a song on parent alienation. Parent alienation is one parent alienates a child from the other one, inducing a toxic relationship between the other parent. And it's not recognised, it's hardly even spoken about, so I'm going to write a song. And after that, I've got the chorus for it. It's something to do with parent alienation, and sort of reggae, something or other.
Yeah,
but it's got to be alienation. Anyway, I'll figure it out.
Yes.
And then the next one after that's going to be about domestic violence, which I'm going to do heavy metal. Domestic violence, I think. Make it violent.
So cool how you
Punk.
can cover all the genres.
And then after that, I don't know, what's the next one? So because of my background as a psychotherapist and having worked with thousands of people, and I know their stories, so it's coming out in my music now, which I think is great.
Yeah.
So it's given me projects till I drop dead, because there's limitless songs. Whatever people have issues with, money's bad. How do you get money? There's another one. Financial. How about the dilemma of I can't buy a house, Mum? I can't buy a house. How many people can't buy a house?
There is that serious side of life, and there's also this side of life where some have so much and everything, and
there's another one.
Have
kill the rich, kill the super rich. I don't know.
That would be the protest, but the picture of the first world problem when you have so much.
It was Eat the Rich, wasn't it? In the 70s, there was a thing called Eat the Rich.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
there is a song?
No, it wasn't. It was just a movement called Eat the Rich, because the rich were eating everything else.
Well, it can be a song now.
Yeah, Eat the Rich. Good idea. There's a couple of things in here I've got to write down. I didn't write down, but
roast the rich.
Roast the rich.
You know how to roast them in a comedy?
No, it should be tax the rich. Just tax them.
Oh, yes.
That's tax benefits the community. Eventually, if the government doesn't waste it all, but that's where food, education, and health comes from.
Now that you mentioned that, I've always been curious when were you born in Australia? Born and raised, grew up here, so you kind of do know the system in and out in a way, and you work in a social, social counseling and that sort of stuff that gives you a lot of interaction with people. I would like to ask you, from your perspective, why is that? For what I see, why is that the government here focus so much on putting a lot of money on sport rather than education? That's what I see. There's money for sport, but why isn't education so free? That people have to struggle just to go to uni to pay for.
There's kickbacks. The politicians are getting kickbacks, and they build a sports stadium, and they pulled down Sydney Sports Ground and built another one for how many millions, I've no idea, when Sydney could do with another 5 hospitals easily. There's no thought about let's build more hospitals, none. But build a new Sydney cricket ground, oh yeah, let's do that, no problem. I got pretty upset when I was in Sydney and I got a letter from the St Vincent's Hospital saying, we need this piece of equipment, it's worth $50,000. Could you contribute, please? I was incensed because it's just $50,000 they're asking people like me to pay for. Why isn't the government simply supplying that equipment? Oh, it's not in our budget this year, but the budget for everything else is there, and they wouldn't think of saying, oh, we'll cut $1 million off the Sydney cricket ground and buy more hospital equipment, because if one hospital needs it, every hospital needs it.
Health, education, and money for art is like not there.
Well, they learnt a severe lesson, didn't they, when COVID came, when all the artists started complaining and saying, hey, we work too, how come we're not getting any support from the government? That made them take a step backwards to look at themselves. But it took a lot of action those people weren't paid for so many weeks, but if you sold hamburgers, you were immediately given a wage. But if you were playing music and then you couldn't play music anymore, they didn't recognise that, let alone, I don't know how visual artists went. If you're having an exhibition twice a year and making a living off it, then you can't have an exhibition. How do you account for that? How does the government say, oh, well, we'll give you a wage? They say, we don't care. Go on the dole. I don't know.
Oh, I think really. I think there's a lot of people who, what you call in English, the experience that you fall through the crack, like slip through the crack.
Yeah, well, artists do.
See, ever since the flooding as well, where they can't get government help or like social, what you call social care, centering help because of the bureaucratic complication on it, and not many people are with the not many people are equipped with the knowledge and technology and navigating the system just to get some support on getting some regular income through Centrelink just to feed themselves. And there's a lot of people who become homeless now because they lost their homes, and this is super easy to relate to what you just said. Not something broken with the way things are managed.
Well, you're talking politics, and so
that's right. It's always been
either you go and protest and fight about it, or you just don't.
Yeah. Can I ask you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe a couple.
Yes.
And then stop.
As you have matured, I might just hold you up for 3 more hours.
Oh no. No, that's not
As you
happening.
have matured,
Yeah.
has your relationship with silence changed?
With silent?
Yes.
Silence?
Silence, yeah.
Has my relationship with silence changed?
Because people,
Oh, absolutely. At the moment, I cannot have silence because I've got tinnitus in both ears. So this one is screaming at me.
I have as well.
I can't hear it now because we're talking about it. It screams at me. And the other one is the other one's got there's about 3 frequencies in each ear. And I actually got a SIG generator to try and figure out which one it was, but I found it very difficult because once I was hearing the generated sound, I couldn't hear the other sound in my ears, in my head. And sometimes I go to sleep listening to it. It's like it's meditation.
How to fall asleep. amazing. And there's so many different sounds.
Well, I was about 5. I have about 5.
Like an orchestra.
No, not at all. Because it stays on one note. It doesn't do anything.
Badly composed orchestra.
Here's the thing I have sometimes. Sometimes my right ear, or it'll just sort of go, for about 10 seconds, and stops again.
Does it have higher pitch than that? Because mine kills me.
But it's amazing that it just starts by itself. It's about 900 cycles, 900 hertz. I can tell. And then it goes again. I go, what the hell? The brain generating sound for me, but can't hear it outside.
I think there must be something wrong with the setting in the
Okay, I'll give you an example. Now, if I got a rubbish bin, no, we don't have rubbish bin lids anymore. There used to be rubbish bin lids made of metal.
Oh, yes.
Right, so they're about this big. Now, if I got a rubbish bin lid and got a stick sitting here and started doing that for 2 hours, right? How do you think you're going to be hearing after 2 hours? Now, let's do that 4 nights a week for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Let's have a few rehearsals during the day, 3. So let's say 6 times a week, someone's hitting a bin lid near your ear. And that's what drums are like. Now let's put an amplifier near that with a guitar going through it. Okay, we'll do that for 20 hours a week. And what's your hearing going to do? It's not just, we didn't develop ears for that. We developed ears to go, someone's speaking to me, or there's an animal there I can go and hunt, or the wind's blowing this way, so go that way, not metal being smashed.
But also plus being on a stage with highly amplified sounds.
Well,
over the stage.
That's your drum kit and that's your amplifiers, and you're right near them. Now here's an interesting thing. When I was in Bali, they don't do that anymore. They have the drums in either the drums are hard over there away, or they're behind a plastic box. They're in a plastic box, and all the instruments plug into a box in the front. There's no amplifiers on the stage, and they've got foldbacks. So I'm playing guitar here, and the foldback's on the floor there with my voice and guitar coming out of it, and that one's got the guitar coming out, and the bass is coming out of there, and the keyboard's coming out. No one's got amps on stage, and it's all in front of you, so it's not behind you blasting at you.
That has an evolution to.
But it's not come to Australia yet.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Like you went there and you see how they evolve with managing the stage. We're here, it's still like the cables everywhere, like you can trip on it, and the amps everywhere, and people are right next to the amp, almost like breathing into the amps.
The trouble is that it doesn't work for older musicians, because they need the amp there so they can turn up the knob, because everyone's going deaf, right? Everyone's been playing music for 20, 30 years, everyone's going deaf. And so then they keep turning. So I don't know whether the stage thing the non-amplifiers on stage would work for them, because, well, it's not so loud, is it? Because the sound on stage is different to what's going out there. That's 2 different things. So you could have the stage sound low, and then if someone wants it more loud, they can have theirs loud, and it's going out there in the proper mix. But you're dependent on the mixer. So anyway, this seems to be the way to go.
On a light side of life, do you ever have that moment where you're on a stage playing drum or the bass or guitar, and ladies are like wanting to...
Used to be like that, of course.
I mean, you still play music now.
No. Doesn't happen now. It didn't happen even when I was in a band up here. It didn't happen. No, it doesn't happen now.
Okay, can I ask more? This is on writing.
On what? Writing?
In relation to you as a writer.
Yeah.
This time. Writers often view their work as a time capsule.
Yeah.
Which of your creations serves as the most accurate sensory anchor for a place or a version of yourself that no longer exists? Don't tell me you don't understand it.
No, nothing does, because everything still exists. I mean, they're all in here now. Well, this is an encapsulation from the 60s to 1980. That's 20 years, but since then, there's all the other stuff that's all there. So it was quite interesting coming today and finding the magazines and newspapers that I'd worked with, which
I'm so glad. I
sort of
didn't
forgotten about. But the thing is that each one leads, I showed you, each one leads to the next, like going from Mercedes-Benz and discovering word processing properly. I mean, I had a computer back in '84 because I wanted to write, because I wrote anyway, and my writing was terrible, still is. So I thought, I'll get an electronic typewriter. And at the time I was working with two other guys playing electronic music, and someone said, why don't you just get a computer that's got word processing and music in it, and then you just get one thing. It was Atari computer. An Atari computer was half a meg. My current computer's 500 gigabytes. So it's like, I don't know how many thousands more. So half a meg. So the whole computer was in the keyboard, and it had a monitor. And so I was typing, I learned to touch type, and there was a music program in it and a visual program. And I got quite good at it. It never occurred to me to go and teach people how to use it. It never occurred. I could have been charging a fortune.
A fortune back then as well, yeah.
Right, so then the three of us had, we actually went into a tape recorder, because back then, like, you know how you could talk into your phone, or that camera's recording, right? We had that doing it for half a second back then. So you can imagine half a second. So we had a keyboard that had these little modules you plugged in. Each one was about 1 second. So if you wanted a saxophone, you'd go plug it in. It would go blah, blah, blah. No, it'd go blah, and then you go blah, 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 blah. Saxophone notes would come out of your keyboard, but only for half a second. So you'd have to go da 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 to get, as far as I can recall. Yes. And so we were using a tape recorder off the instruments, because you couldn't record your instruments like you can today.
Yes.
It's quite, just thinking back, this is at the time when we had a phone that you did that with. This is 1986, so you still had a dial phone, right? So we had the latest keyboards, and had I think 1 to 2 second sample, and we had a drum machine which would autoplay, it would repeat itself, and we had a sequencer which would repeat a phrase for us, and we were producing ambient music, but we didn't know it was ambient music, because ambient music hadn't been discovered yet, and we didn't realise that we had something we could sell. We had no idea, so we just made a CD and then gave it to our friends and moved on.
Wow.
Well, we actually took it to Triple J or Double J, and we sat down and they interviewed us. We played the songs, but we just said, we just think it's interesting music, but we didn't know. So
back then, did you not get much of a radio exposure at least?
Well, we could have. If we'd gone on and said, we're going to put this out as a CD, we'd have been way ahead. We would have been one of the few, because we were recording. We were recording in a bedroom. We were just a recording band. It was a spare room in my house. We just had keyboards and a guitar. We had one. That was the only analog thing, was one guitar. Bass and everything was coming out of the keyboards.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, what an experience. It's just crazy going
so
back in time.
That guy, the drummer in that, he was playing, he also played keyboards, but he went on to play with Ice. You probably don't know Icehouse. Icehouse was one of Australia's top bands back then. He was the drummer for Icehouse.
More likely I would know.
No, but he got replaced because Ivor Davies, who was the singer, realised that drummers going boom cha, he could go into a machine and go boom cha boom. So he fired the drummer because he could do it himself. So that was at the stage when people were switching over.
Right. Wow.
And then people came back because they wanted the drum feel. They want the drums not to be perfectly in time, but.
It can be like that?
Well, they got quantizing so you could move the drum beat here and there, make it a bit more human.
more, yeah. Now, another one, do you have the refusal or postponement you have kept in your creative life? The one story or song you're always too afraid to finish until now?
Too afraid to finish it?
Yeah.
Too afraid to finish something I started?
Yeah. Do you have any?
I had a song about an ex, and I played it live. I didn't ever record it. What about that? So no, I don't want to have anything to do with that. No, thanks.
No, because some of us have something that we put it aside, and because it's whatever that was, whether it's by fear or something that is holding us back from never finishing it, and we putting off.
No, I finish everything I do. I've got a book I wrote about sex, which I'm rewriting, but I find I'm not that. It's because I wrote it probably 4 or 5 years ago. I don't care. I'm moving into new projects, so it's sort of. I may not do it. I may not finish that one. It's just an adventure.
But there is something at the back of your mind that you may.
I may, but I notice I'd rather write new songs and move forward.
If let's say this was the last work you ever produced, what is the global truth you would feel most obligated to leave behind for the next generation?
Well, that's a historical book. So, I mean, historical books are the best, aren't they? I mean, so you've got this one and this one. The Bond.
Yeah.
So look at the similar colours. Look, I seem to like that one.
Like your hat.
Yeah, and
a
then
lot of red.
What's this one got? Red.
Red again.
What's this one? Not so much red. Bash the mic. No,
Yes.
not so much. Anyway, so historical books. I mean, the trouble with music is there's probably 100 billion books out as well. There's 100 billion songs, and there's 100 billion songs being recorded every single day. So it just gets lost in the morass of music.
In this digital era, my pronunciation can be so stuffed up. In a digital era where everything is accessible, but often superficial as well, in fact, how can a young artist find an authentic voice that is globally informed but deeply rooted? I'm asking you because you look at the compilation of all this historical journey that you make through writing, through music, publishing, growing as a person. And I think this question...
I don't understand the question. That's a problem. No, I don't. Do it again. I can't compute it.
Okay. In a digital era where everything is accessible but often superficial.
Well, I don't know if
you can also,
superficial.
like, you see with social media.
Okay.
Because
well, that's garbage.
We put a certain frame where life
okay,
is
so you're talking this garbage, so I discard the garbage.
How can a young artist find their, like, an authentic voice within themselves or whatever?
Well, they do.
Is globally informed but deeply rooted.
A young artist is putting out something creative.
Yes.
How can the young artist be globally informed and deeply rooted?
Yes.
I don't know. What does that mean? I have no idea what that means.
If the deeply information pass
are they globally informed? Well, they have to read. They have to look at themselves.
Pass on a message that is fundamentally something authentic from them without having to follow the mob.
Well, heaps of people do that. There's lots of young people writing and doing stuff.
But how can they actually stay authentic? Like you,
they can be authentic.
You don't follow like the.
Yeah, but lots of young people are not being authentic. You've got people singing la la la, I love you, la la la, Kylie Minogue's garbage, you know, that sort of thing, or young people that sing rubbish like that. But there's young people who are writing really authentic stuff, really from the heart.
Do you have anything to say as a message to people who...
Just write from the heart, write what's going on for you. I mean, I was following an artist, and that's what AI is doing. AI is writing garbage for people. So you put in a theme. I've seen this happen already. I love you, and it comes up with, we're walking down the street. I wonder if we'll meet. It's another thing. I'll greet. So nice to have a treat. I mean, I'm just doing it now. AI. Don't think about it. Rhyme. I can do that, and it's just garbage. And so you can do that as a young person. You can write garbage and think, oh, look, I've got a hit record, and they've got a hit, and they'll go out on stage and perform it. Everyone goes, they all know it off by heart, and they clap. Wonderful. But that's different to someone who's writing an authentic song about their truth. It doesn't have to be about themselves, but just their truth. And I know those songs connect with people really well. And I've seen that with young people doing it. They really connect. They're writing about human issues, and other people connect to those issues. Some people don't, but lots do. I think it's fascinating when someone's a young person, especially singing on a stage, and the audience is singing the words. They all know it. I've never heard the song in my life, but it's obviously on Spotify or somewhere, which I don't follow.
Yeah.
So they do, and I think that's fabulous. That's great.
So just stay creative, stay authentic to what.
Yeah, it rings bells for other people, but you can also sing, I love you, la la la, I love my dog, la la la, and someone will like that too.
Yeah, that's true.
They're not my people. That's all I can say.
Last question, my dear.
Yeah, good.
This is like the turning point kind of question. Looking back at your, looking back at your life as a story, how would you divide it into chapters, and which chapter was the most difficult to write?
I think that the chapter difficult to write is one that I have written about in an indirect way, and that's about my second sort of marriage thing, which is ugly end. So that's the one I don't deal with, don't want to. I've been there. It's the least colourful. And then the other stories, like even from my early childhood, lots of stories there. Early Melbourne, lots of stories there. First bands, lots of stories. First loves, lots of stories. Moved to Sydney, lots of stories. Moved to Byron Bay, lots of stories. And I also lived in Adelaide for a short time and Sydney for a short time before I moved. So there's lots of stories in each place. And I think the thing that's come out of it the most was how naive I was for a lot of time. I think everyone's the same. You don't know what to do, and you just don't know. And I like, for example, I was riding on the bike path just to here this morning, and there was a young boy in front of me. He's probably 10, I'd say, and he was doing riding his bike on the back wheel. At first, I thought it was an electric bike because a lot of those kids do it down Johnson Street, but it was actually an ordinary bike. And I caught up with him, and he had to stop to cross the road. I said, when you ride that bike, do you ever fall off because you're doing these little trick things? And he said, yeah, sometimes. I said, do you get hurt? He said, yeah, sometimes I do, but I'm all right. And it's just like he actually didn't know how to talk to me, a complete stranger, even though I'm talking about bikes, nothing at all personal, except do you ever get hurt? And I just thought, that's what it's like when you're young. You just don't know how to talk to people. You don't know how to describe something. You just don't know what to do. And so when you become a young adult, you still don't know what to do. and you could be involved in like big businesses, like especially music and artists. You're involved with big business people who know what to do, and you don't know what to do, and they know how to exploit you, and they do it all the time. And I mean, I think in Sydney, can't think it's Shirley something or other gallery, she takes 55% commission of artists. 55%.
That's
right. So someone spent 40 hours on a painting.
Absolutely exploited.
I know. So you've still got that's today. They're still getting that.
That's true.
So you've got an artist who might have an agent to say, I'm not paying you 55%. Well, we'll get somebody else. There's always a flow.
Oh, yes.
Right. So, but it helps if you know at least what the business is to make a choice. But if you've just got paintings and someone says, "Oh, we'll do it for you 55%," oh wow, I'm with this gallery, and then you don't get any money. I mean, I was pretty shocked to find what bands was it? I was watching something. George Michael's.
Oh.
George Michael's was a fantastic doc on him, and they sold like 20 million records. Like they got nothing, because when they were 18-year-old, they signed the contract. 18-year-old signing a contract with big business, huge business who knew exactly what they were doing. It's one of the biggest record companies. And he, 10 years later or something, he sued them and he lost.
No.
Because the contract was signed as an 18-year-old. So the company made millions of dollars out of them and they got nothing. And I was really shocked. I mean, he eventually made a lot of money, but that's what happens when you're young. I mean, they didn't know, I better get a solicitor to witness what I'm doing here. Didn't even know that. Like,
the business side of exploitation is really cruel, doesn't?
Yeah, they don't.
Sympathy, let alone empathy.
So you got to get to those people. They're just people who are not nice people. They've got problems. They've got, as a psychotherapist, I know they've got problems of their own, and then they don't have any problem. They don't have any concerns about ethics or morality to do the right thing by somebody else. So, oh, you're an artist. Look, I've got a gallery. It costs me this much a month to manage the gallery. I've got to pay people. How about if we sell your art for $1,000? How about I take $200, or that's 20%, right? Or 30. There's no negotiation.
Yes.
So anyway, that's the end of that, Ray.
Wow.
Can I go now?
Well, you can go now. One extremely last question.
Oh, extremely last.
What was your first impression when you got to Byron? When you first got to Byron, you decided to move here, and then ta-da!
The first thing that happened when I came up was I went to, first of all, I saw 24 bands in 1 week. At that time there was the Beachy, the Great Northern, the Rails and the Brewery. And they had 7 nights of music, and 4 times 28. I saw 28 bands in that week. I went, wow, this is amazing. Because I was on my bike. I'd just go from pub to pub.
For a small place.
For a tiny place, 4 bands. Then I played with the Samba Blister Sambas.
Oh yes, Samba Blisters, I remember.
So I thought that was just, the women were just going, I thought, they just enjoyed it. I thought, wow, this is great. Then I went to the drum circle every night with Juan on the beach, and that was, I don't think I had a drum with me. I was just borrowing somebody's. And then I did a singing class at the Culture Club. Culture Jam with Cooey. Guy used to play in Cooey. Beautiful guy. Anyway, beautiful guy. And his attitude to teaching was like, I went, wow. And then of course I was surfing a lot. So there was surfing. I was riding my bike around because it's flat. I could get around everywhere. And I thought, these are my people. I want to be here. Then I went to the Saturday night markets, and there was this woman playing djembe with some band. And then the next night I went to another thing in the railway park, and there was a woman playing guitar. And then I went to a protest a few days later, and there was a woman playing a djembe, and that was you. I went, wow, she's incredible. She's everywhere.
I was playing a djembe.
You're playing a big djembe. I've got a photo of it, so I know.
Oh, I thought, oh wow.
Anyway, you were playing. Anyway, so that was like, I thought, wow, you can sort of do a lot of things here. You don't just become a guitar player or a singer. You can do anything you want.
Yeah, it's very diverse.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I really appreciate is that even people who have no clue about music or art, they came here is because it's just such a creative hub of, you know, members of community. They become naturally very interested, and they kind of, like, you know, our friend, my Chinese friend Xiao, who there's a Chinese guy who comes and jumps here along with us, the Asian Oriental looking man. He was here the other night, and he have no clue about music. He's one of the perfect example that never practiced music, but since he interacted with us, he just bought hang drums on so many different keys, and he's now learning it really well with help for other people. So you become
So the question
curious about, you become very curious about the art world, and you just slowly adapt to it. And
so the question was,
joyful.
What was my first impression when I came to Byron Bay?
Yes.
I've answered that. Can I go now?
Of course you can go now.
The end.
You can go or stay and have lunch.
Okay.
It would be lovely to.
We're not going to video that bit though, are we?
No, it will be there, so who cares?
Are we having prawns?
Yeah, we can have prawns, but if it's there. If it's not, we'll have to make the prawns another day. But thank you so much for,
Okay, my pleasure.
for sharing all of these.
It was great.
Those are really
Great to
valuable.
discover it.
Well, I am really glad, because I wasn't expecting that you'd come up a lot of things that you've done.
It's actually what's amazing for me is I don't know what the word is now. The progression from being a child and playing the drums to CD, books, newspaper. It's quite exciting for me to see it, like in retrospect, because I'd forgotten about all that.
And that's one of the nicest things that I enjoy about our friendship is that you always correct my English. You know that's one of the best and the most valuable thing that I hold dear to, and my friends or whoever I speak to, and they correct my English.
Mm-hmm.
It's so valuable.
We have to do that because we can't understand you. I sometimes think you're practicing Italian. I'm not sure. Is it English or Italian?
The accent. You know, when I cannot figure out.
We finished the thing?
How to say the, I say the or the.
The.
Yeah, the. Yeah.
Try French. Charles would probably say t.
No, they say the.
No, you can't say the. The.
Yeah,
they can't do the.
The cup of tea.
But he could practice.
But
we finished. Goodbye.
Let's wrap up. This is how I wrap.
I'm going to put my hand over the camera and it's finished, all right?
He's going to go, so...
It's finished.
Thank you very much.
Are we finished?
Yeah, thank you very much for being...
We finished.
A very fantastic, very entertaining,
Oh, it's only the second one.
fabulous stories.
Next one you'll be saying, oh, you were so good last week. It was terrible. I was with Raphael.
This is a great conversation. I really like it. Thank you so much.
Okay.
And we will of course see each other through music.
You're going to back to the camera. That's useless. You don't know anything about video.
I don't know.